back to another episode of the Big Ass Cornhole Podcast. Sean and Dane are back with you once again.
Yes, we are, Shawnee. And hey, live episode again, back at the house.
It's been, 2 weeks?
It's been 2 weeks, man. I feel like we're, in the right spot right now.
Last week's episode was a little different. We recorded kind of like a little recap of the world, and then we had all of our interviews, which I thought was cool listening back to.
Yeah, it was hard to remember everything that we talked about. Not like here, when we I don't know, I can recall everything, but like when we were in that environment, it was definitely a different experience listening back.
It was cool just having just general conversations, almost forgetting that we were recording anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a good time. So, well, obviously, as per tradition, right? Dean.
Yes.
It's your part here, okay?
It is.
Let the folks know what we're sipping on tonight in a segment we call "What You Drinking."
What you drinking?
Not quite as good as Mr. Zeller's, but pretty damn close.
Close.
But Shawnee, we got Hop Valley Brewing Company's IPA pack, and I've heard nothing but great things about this guy, so I figured I'd snag myself one. So we got 4 beers to rip through tonight. Hope you're ready.
I'm good.
First off, we were both sipping on the Stash Panda. So these
Hazy
are,
IPA.
It's a little hazy IPA, 6.5%. Very, very clean, very crisp. Now the gimmick to these, all of their hops are cryogenically frozen.
Okay.
So they're suspended in time. So each time you drink it, it supposedly always tastes the same.
Okay.
So that's their shtick.
Sure.
But hey, they make damn good beer.
It's good. It tastes good.
Mm-hmm.
It's right up my alley. Hazy IPA is one of my favorites.
I mean, I'm gonna switch over since I just crushed the hazy, and I'm gonna switch over to the Imperial. This one's called Cryostash. Ooh, it's foaming.
Ooh, sure is.
It must be those cryogenically frozen hops, but ooh, that's a nice switch up actually. You'll enjoy
Imperial?
that transition. Yeah, it's very strong. This one's 8.7. So yeah, we're gonna have some fuzz on these nuggets before we talk to Stout and Corley.
Super hoppy or?
Actually, no. Surprisingly, not. Yeah, it's pretty mild on the IBUs, but damn good.
And who brings us this beautiful drinking segment, Dane?
Why do you ask me this every week? Because you know damn well it's brought to us by Colorado Cornhole Connection.
Just remind
Do you
me.
need some badass boards, some sick-ass flags, score towers, some other cool shit? Hit up iHeartCornhole.com. Use code BIGASS10. Get yourself 10% off.
Well, Cornhole family, we obviously have more audio gold planned for you all today. Currently, we are in the ACL off-season, in quotes, I guess if you want to call it. It's like a 3-week long period or whatever. New partners are being formed. Players are being signing sponsorship with new bag companies. So we're going to recap some of the news and keep you all up to date with what's going on in the ACL. We have bags to review.
Always.
We have 3 sets of bags to review today. We have Gladiator Cornhole Mayhem Pro BB-1. We have the Bangarang Cornhole Bangalores. And then we have the Basement... I'm sorry.
That's like the Basement Bag Company?
Yes. Basement Bag Company, The Darkness. I kept seeing BB, and I'm like, I know it's Basement, but I want to make sure I got it right. So Basement Bag Company, The Darkness. So we got those 3.
Such a great name for a bag because it's like one of my favorite musical artists, but that's alright. The Darkness. I believe in a thing called love. Just as one of those.
I got you.
Carry
Okay.
on.
and then we're going to be joined by newly formed ACL Pro doubles team, Matthew Stout and Jay Corley. But before we get into all that, we're going to go over what's going on in our cornhole lives in a segment we call In and Around the Hole.
Brought to you by Airwolf Athletics. Sean skipped out today, but I did not. I am wearing the collab with 724 Bagger Company, and yes, I look fine as hell. If you want to start looking this good, you got to start at the top, work your way down, hit up airwolfathletics.com, use code BIGASS, it'll get you 10% off.
At this point in your life, if you haven't added a set of the sexiest bags around, you're doing something wrong. That's right, folks. Blackjack Cornhole bags. You get free shipping, amazing customer service. It's really a no-brainer. All right, so stop what you're doing. Go grab a set of Blackjack Cornhole bags at blackjackcornhole.com. Use code BIGASP to save you 10%.
Hell yeah.
Right. Well, I know you got a chance to throw this week.
I did.
We threw together the other night, but you also you hit up a tournament this
I
weekend?
did,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Since our tournament had to be postponed to
Yeah, sorry about that.
catastrophic electrical failure. I mean,
Yeah.
guys, it's out of everyone's hands. So we apologize. We're gonna reschedule, and hopefully it's bigger and better. And when there's not 5 other tournaments going on, but
I'm thinking maybe early October.
We're at the mercy of the bar right now, so
see.
we just need to wait till they're back up and operating.
They're supposed to. They've been closed for like a week and a half.
Yeah.
I think tomorrow is their first day that they're planning on opening up again.
Yeah, it's a soft opening tomorrow, so
Yeah.
hopefully they're ready to rip. But I mean,
and this is one of the busiest Irish pubs in Cleveland.
I mean they're hurting right now.
yeah.
So I'm glad to see that they're getting back up. No hard feelings with them. I'm excited to reschedule,
Yep.
and like we said, we're gonna make it even bigger and better. And yeah, that being said, since it was canceled, I went out and played at the Strongsville Rib Fest,
Okay.
the Rib Burn Off. Just saw a little message out there in the Cleveland Cornhole world from Mr. Chad Braun.
ACL Pro.
ACL Pro, Chad Braun. Just, asking, hey, is there anyone, available to play tomorrow? And obviously I had know the tournament was canceled, so I just reached out and I'm like, hey, you find a partner yet? And this was, 8 hours later. I was expecting him to have someone. And he's like,
Yeah.
no, I didn't get a single message. I'm like, oh, well, here's your first message. All right, so we had a great time. We threw great. We started out 5-0, ripping through it, and then
Chad's a fun guy to throw with.
yeah, honestly, we had a great
I've never partnered
time.
up with him, but I love throwing against him. He's just very laid back.
Yeah, and
he likes to
honestly-
win though, but still, still has a competitive spirit. But he's a good guy.
Luckily, I started off cold, like I've been throwing, but then I started to find it a little bit.
Okay.
It was really tough conditions out there. That wind was swirling around pretty good, but like I said, we started out. I think we ended up 7-2. We took 5th place.
Okay.
It was fun. Our only losses were to Adam Hissner, and he was playing with John Lemasters.
Okay.
And then who's our other loss to? I can't remember. It's so long ago. Played so much cornhole. But
Was it
anyways,
Beamer and?
no, we didn't face Beamer.
Okay.
I can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
It was another good team though.
Okay.
But yeah, I was happy with how we finished up, and you got a sweet $25 gift card to Harvest,
There you go.
which is a nice restaurant out here in this way. So
Well, and it was run by Cleveland Cornhole and King Sea Cornhole.
yes,
We're rocking their new jerseys today, looking fresh as shit. So Tony, Rinaldi, Kevin Allen, thanks, buddies.
yes,
Greatly appreciate it. We owe
and-
you a jersey.
it's made by possibly the greatest jersey maker in the game right now.
Instinct
I don't know. I'm just
Sportswear, man.
saying he is taking it off to a whole new level, and these things are sexy AF.
Yeah, well, I didn't throw a whole lot this week. I threw with you on Sunday.
Yeah.
Came over for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. We put in some serious time, and we have a bunch of new bags coming in.
Yeah, it was nice to get out and actually throw the new bags against someone for a change.
That's what I like, is throwing it in competition. You kind of get a true feel of how bags are moving
Yeah.
around, and but yeah, we threw 8 to 10 different series of bags.
Mhm.
We played a best of 3 where we each had to pick a different bag every time. But yeah, it was good. I mean, put in some good work.
I like I like just meeting up again and throwing.
I
these
feel like
against
I get a better
competition.
sense of how a bag truly performs rather than if I'm just throwing like a deck around kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and it's one of those two where when you're practicing you can hit a couple of those cut shots, but
Yeah.
when you're facing someone you see how consistently you actually hit it.
Yeah, correct.
So I like that aspect of it. So it was nice.
Absolutely. Okay, so news around the ACL. Okay, you gotta love free agency period. I do. I love seeing some mix up in partners.
I want to start seeing some betting lines on the free agent pool. I think that'd be fun.
I think that'd be kind of cool too. And I kind of wanted to go over some names at the end.
Yeah.
Of who's still out there, and we'll try to make some guesses and predictions on who's going to partner up with who. New teams are forming. We're going to try to keep you updated weekly on new teams as they're announced. What we think their potential will be going into the next season. I also think the other fun part is seeing what teams are throwing what bags now. All right, we're seeing a sudden increase of small bag companies signing pretty big name players.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's going to be a trend going forward.
Well, I
Because
think they saw what happened with Fire Cornhole.
Fire Cornhole,
Kinda.
Kill Shots got on the scene and they blew up afterwards. It's a big risk to take, and you
Yeah.
have to sign the right people to do it. But we'll kind of get into that as the episode kind of goes on.
Absolutely.
Let's go over some of the teams that have been announced so far. I think one of the teams that was announced earliest, before the season was even over, was Noah Wooten and Tony Smith. They're partnering up together. Obviously, they travel the country a lot together. They play in a lot of tournaments. I know they've said, they're on record kind of saying like they're like brothers.
Yeah.
I'll be interested. I mean, obviously, the team is loaded with talent. Will they have enough to put it together when the time comes at national events to take the next step? I mean, they're obviously going to be any tournament those two names go into it. They're going to be among the favorites every single time.
100%, yeah.
Do you see them? Now, obviously, crystal ball, right?
Yeah.
Do you see them winning a national in doubles next year?
Winning a national in doubles, yes, I do.
Okay.
Now, I think the deciding factor is going to be really, I mean, I know they're young, but how much they travel.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, for the most part, most of these events are taking place toward the eastern coast. And all those trips that you take out to the west coast and stuff, like, yeah, I mean, it's great exposure. Like, you get to throw some bags against different competition, but it starts to weigh on you.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I know I'm, in my 30s now, so life's a little bit slower for me, but
A little bit.
it's got to take its toll at some point. I mean, you and I traveled quite a bit for rugby.
Yeah.
And there's times, like, midway through the season where you're like, God damn it, like, I need a break at home for, like, a couple weeks. And, like, I hope that they can recognize that and rein it in and then show up.
I think it's a little different for them, though, because this is how they make their money.
I mean, it is, yeah. I mean,
they're
it is
professional cornhole
a
players
job
right now,
and I get that
their
too.
job, so.
Which it's hard for me to see it from that standpoint as well. So I mean,
we weren't that good.
Exactly. Yes. So lack the talent to do that, but
I think the other interesting is obviously Noah announced the release of Contraband. Their bags Cutthroat were the first ones to hit the market. Do those bags work well for both of them? Is it a bag that Noah designed for himself that he really liked? I haven't even held them yet. I don't know. I'm assuming if Noah likes them, they're gonna have some sort of flop rollability. I'm assuming they're probably similar to like a Surefire type bag.
That's what I'm guessing.
I just don't know. I haven't had a set.
Yeah.
I reached out to Noah just saying, hey, when are they going on sale again? I just want to know so I can be on the lookout, try to buy a set.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to snag a set at Worlds, but I mean, if you've thrown them so far, if you're listening to this and you've been lucky enough to snag a set, just let us know what your thoughts are early on. Hopefully, we'll get a chance to review them on the show eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you were saying before, it's probably going to suit Noah, but I think Noah and Tony throw pretty similar.
Yeah.
So I think whatever works for Noah is going to work for Tony.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I mean, they're going to be a fun team to watch, a good one to watch out for, and I think a lot of it's going to come down to basically readiness when it comes down to nationals.
The next team is a team that I'm excited for. I'm interested to see how they work as a team dynamic. Is Jay Rube and Jordan Power. Both insanely talented players. They're both very passionate players. Jay Rubin tends to be a little bit in his zone, headphones on, kind of locked in, but he still has a little bit of that fiery personality on the board.
He's got a little bit of that swag, that cockiness to him.
Yeah, and I think Power this year playing with Chad Webb, Chad had that very calming effect, I think, at times that he needed, like that yin and yang, they kind of balance each other out. Is Jay going to be able to provide that for Jordan, who is still young? He's fiery, and you like that, right? I mean, you like when he gets excited and he plays, but sometimes when you have that too much of that, it can throw your game off a little
absolutely.
bit.
I think that's why we haven't seen Power yet make it to that final for singles.
Yeah.
Because he has the talent.
Yeah.
And like you said, that fieriness, it can get you going.
Now, when you take two, in that fire cornhole, right, they showed perfect that you don't necessarily have to have this amazing team dynamic. If you put two really good cornhole players together and they both play their own game, you know what I mean, and they just look at it as that, like, as a business relationship, it can work. They're probably the first group that's kind of shown that it works.
I don't think that's the case with Ruben and Power at all, though, because Ruben's now, to me, I mean, he's kind of an old boy in the game, if you will.
He's a little bit of a veteran.
I mean, he's been around in
the
pro game, so I think he's ready to take on that role of bringing a young buck under his wing and showing him the ropes. And I mean, I hope nothing but success for the two of them.
Jordan Power going into the season would be like my guy to watch out for as like breakout player of the year.
Yes, absolutely.
So if I'm Ruben, I think it's a smart signing.
And for Power, though, it's like breakout player of the year to be in like the top 10, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He has the potential. They both do.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. It's a very talent wise, sky's the limit. Now, I'm interested to see where they go with bag choice. Power has shown this year that he can throw a variety of bags. I mean, him and Chad Webb seemed like they were throwing a different bag every single tournament. Jay Rubin typically likes to throw like an all-slide type bag, but he also showed the other day he was throwing TC boards, this new bag called Hokahe, which we threw the other day.
And it is
money.
great.
It's a really
Look
nice
out for
bag.
that review because it's a good one.
not saying anything crazy, but I mean, he was throwing that bag live on camera. Sometimes you might have to try to connect the dots a little bit. I don't know.
Good doing it too.
But yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. So he's another versatile player that I feel like he can throw anything. He can throw a carpet bag. He actually broke something down. I think it was on Twitter. It was either Twitter or Instagram. I saw somebody asked him about throwing carpet bags and why he might make the switch over. And he was saying that he thinks he can actually throw a higher PPR with carpet bags because he doesn't feel like his in the hole average is going to go down. But the carpet bags are going to allow those bags that he would normally lose off the back to stay on the board.
Because he's so robotic in his release that it's just, I mean, he's just so down the middle.
Yeah.
Most of his misses are lip outs that go out the back.
Yeah.
Carpet bag might hang there for him.
I'm excited to see who they end up throwing and how, to me, the potential is sky's the limit with those two.
I mean, it might be the two flattest bags on a team.
Yeah.
Those two throw such a flat bag.
They both have really busy throws, too.
They do, yeah. There's a lot going on with them.
And yeah, you would not look at, like, Jay Rubin his release, you want every new player to release a bag just like that. But he has a very loopy throw. You know what I mean? There's a lot of components to it.
Yeah.
Same thing with power. I mean, he's rocking forward and back and that big, I mean, it's an interesting pair. I like both guys, too, so I'm hoping that it works out really well.
I think it will.
Team we got on tonight, actually.
Absolutely.
Matthew Stout and Jay Corley. Now, Jay Corley had a sneaky good double season with John Fuentes.
Yes.
Matthew
not
Stout,
not a bad singles season
No, he had a very solid season. It was just a quiet season. Like, you would never guess that he finished where he did.
Yeah.
Matthew Stout, I've been talking about for like the last year and a half, so I think his potential is through the limit, through the roof. I think he had a little bit of a, if you want to call it this, a down year compared to his probably, and we'll ask him this.
Yeah.
I think his expectations were probably higher going into the season than where he finished off. But again, very talented. They're really good friends. I think sometimes that can play well into you if you have a good dynamic and you enjoy.
A lot of good friends play
if you enjoy who's across the board. I mean, look at the first team we listed, Wooten and Smith. I mean, they're good friends. I'm going to be interested to see if that dynamic plays in their favor at all.
Yeah,
so.
And to me, I mean, I don't. The way that their personalities are, I don't ever see it being an issue.
No.
Like, they're both very kind of, I guess, like, free, if you will. I mean, Corley's not, like, nearly as much as Stout is, but I think he's a nice guy. Like, he's a nice, infectious personality, and I think, like, those two together, one, it's going to be a fun dynamic on the boards, because I think they approach the game entirely different.
Yeah.
And two, I think the banter back and forth, I think you're going to hear Corley starting to talk on the boards a lot more.
You might, I hope. I mean, we'll find out. We're going to ask him all these questions. The next team was just announced, I think yesterday, is going to be Alan Rockwell and Mike Harvey. Now, if you're listening to this, I'm sure you've heard that Alan Rockwell is dealing with some serious cancer stuff. I mean, he's going through it right now.
Yeah.
Who knows what this season's going to hold. I think it says a little bit about Mike Harvey's personality and wanting to try to pick somebody up when they're down a little bit. Alan Rockwell he's been a staple of the ACL. He is a crazy talented player. If he is healthy and he's able to travel and he's anywhere close to 100%, this is a team, again, they could be very sneaky good.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the way that Harvey finished the year, I mean, he was throwing next level, and we all know what Rocky can do, obviously, and on the I don't even know what I'm trying to say, the coattails of what you were saying.
Okay.
Just Rocky, we're praying for you, brother.
Yeah.
We hated to hear that. It sucks. I mean, cancer's touched everyone in their lives, so like everyone feels for that man, and hopefully he comes out on top because, like you said, man, he's a staple in the ACL.
Listen, there's power in positive thinking,
absolutely,
right? So we're sending positive vibes your way, my man. We want nothing but the best. If you need
power
anything
through
from
him,
us,
and I think if he comes through it, it would not surprise me one bit if those two take a national together.
Nope. All right, next team. Jimmy Humans, Tyler Cobb. Again, a team that announced pretty early on that they were partnering up.
They signed with a small bag company too.
Yeah, an up and coming bag company. So we had the last night we were at Worlds. Jimmy Humans joined us down. It was really cool. We asked him who was he leaning towards, signing with bag wise, because we thought that the partnership with him and Cobb were interesting. At the time, I had just assumed probably going BG. I know Cobb had thrown BG. Humans had kind of gone back and forth throwing some different things, and he told us about Zero Gravity Cornhole. And he was raving about their new bags coming out. Now, again, these are professional players that I'm watching throwing on video. Tice and Tubby Cobb, released some videos today of them throwing these bags. They look like they worked. The bags are going in the hole. So this is a company that you are taking a chance and you are backing a group of individuals. I believe they're out of California. And you're taking a chance. You're throwing, from what I've heard, they're throwing some decent money out there. And you're taking a big chance that these guys are going to make it to the stage, to the main stage.
I mean, do you have any doubt that they will?
No, because, again, Jimmy Humans has been knocking on the door all year.
I think every year
and listen,
we've seen
if
Jimmy,
nothing
he's gotten
else,
better.
What I learned from Jimmy talking to him that night is that he is crazy confident. Not cocky. Yeah. He's just confident in his game.
Yeah,
and he feels that Tyler is a good comparison to hold up his end. We saw Tyler this year on a broadcast, probably through the best game I've seen him ever throw.
Yeah.
So he wasn't disturbed by the bright lights and everything. Again, there are all these teams now with how much talent is in there. It's so hard to predict what they're going to do. Could they be a top 10 team?
You're the one that reads a lot about the ACL, so I expect you to still be on your game.
I will, like, if you're asking me, out of all the teams that we've read so far, I would put them third.
I was going to say the same number. Yeah.
I'd probably put them third and best chance of winning a national.
Who's your second? I think we both have the same first.
Wooten and Smith.
Yeah, who's your first?
Rube and Power.
Okay, I have those two flip-flopped.
Okay. I think that the time is right. This was a learning curve for Power. He had some hiccups early on, but since early on, he's been nothing but consistent. Yeah. And he's a guy. I'm a big fan of the game. So, but yeah, Jimmy Humans, Tyler Cobb, Zero Gravity Cornhole. I'm excited. Jimmy's supposed to be getting us some bags here soon. We're gonna have both of them on, Tyler and Jimmy, on at the same episode. The episode that we review the bags, we're gonna try to do the bag review with them.
Oh yeah.
Just so we get a pro's perspective on what they like about the bag and the performance.
You actually forgot one though. We got Harbaugh and King.
I wasn't done. I knew that. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, Devin Harbaugh.
Do you like this signing?
For
Harbaugh.
If Derek King's headspace, if he feels like he's confident enough to throw and like come out to every tournament next year, and like obviously I know he had some mental health issues going on and stuff. Like, hey,
that we're assuming.
I've heard through the grapevine, but hey, like. If he's ready to throw, he's one of the best throwers in the game. So you join him with Devin Harbaugh. I'm not saying they're going to be consistent, but it wouldn't surprise me if they step up one national and win one.
Because Devin Harbaugh this year solidified his presence as a force in the ACL, and it just seemed like something clicked with him this year. We've talked about Devin and how crazy talented he is. It just seemed like something clicked this year where he gets that you have to play the mental aspect of the game too, and you have to play a smart game. But when you have a chance to hit a big shot, go hit a big shot. He won the best shot of the year. It's crazy too. He has all the talent in the world. I'll be very interested to see. They're a team that I won't know what the fuck to do with them in that first national. I won't know. Yeah. It's going to depend on seeding. That's what I'm saying. They could go on a run all the way to the bracket final. They could lose their first two matches. Yeah. I don't know.
And that's why there is a bit of hesitation with the pairing, but like I think they have crazy potential. I just want to see the consistency.
Yeah.
From both of them.
Yeah.
You're saying Devin Harbaugh solidified it, but did he really? His first half of the year was not that.
And again,
great.
they're going to be throwing contraband bags.
Yeah.
So again, we'll see. I know they're a very tight-knit group. I think, moving on from them, I think it says something about Trey Birchfield and not going with that group.
Mm-hmm.
He's staying with Lucky Bags, from what we hear. As of right now, he's staying with Lucky Bags. He's a free agent right now.
Yeah.
I had done an article released like last week or something where I posted, my 10 thoughts going into the next season. And my number one was, Trey Birchfield doesn't have a fucking partner yet. Who's it going to be?
Yeah.
I asked Trey Birchfield before he was going on to the main stage to face Cheyenne Renner if he had any idea of who he was going to play doubles with. And he said that there was one leading man in line. He doesn't like to wear sleeves. I'm going to leave it at that. I have since heard other things through the grapevine that this individual who doesn't like to wear sleeves is trying to decide between two people.
Sean,
I don't want to...
I told you that my sleeveless days are done. All right?
So it'll be interesting to see. If I have a prediction right now, I think that when all is said and done, if Trey Birchfield, if he stays with Lucky Bags, he's going to throw with Alex Rawls.
Okay. I mean, we saw how talented Rawls was.
And Rawls was throwing surefire.
And
He throws lucky
surefires
bags.
too. Yeah, I mean, that kid is he's next level.
Again, I don't know this. I'm just saying it makes sense to me.
Is it a sexy duo? Not necessarily, but I think it's a duo that could be unstoppable.
Listen, I think that Alex Rawls is he won advanced world championship, and with that
against
loaded field,
against that loaded field. I mean, and he didn't just win it.
No,
I mean, like
he beat Josh Holland. I mean, like,
handedly won that tournament.
Anytime you can beat Josh Holland in cornhole, and like, listen, not many people have done it.
Is Josh Holland going pro?
Yeah, he's gonna go.
Is he gonna play with his dad?
I don't know yet. I don't know if his
See,
dad. His
that's
dad did
another
not
one,
make.
man.
I don't. Man, see, I should know this. I don't believe.
I thought they were both already qualified.
No, he's no. Josh made it through the gauntlet, the pro qualifier. I don't recall if his dad did or not.
Okay. I thought they were already qualified through the Open.
Look that up.
Yeah, I can look it up.
Look it up. So I'm going through. So what I want to do is go over some of the other free agents. So obviously we talked about Trey. It wouldn't surprise me. There's rumors going around about him throwing with a particular individual. Again, doesn't like to wear sleeves. Maybe his name rhymes with Schmein Smith or something. But I don't know.
You're such a good rhymer.
I don't know. Again, if that doesn't happen, I could see maybe Alex Rawls would make sense. I've also heard other crazy rumors out there that I'm not going to just throw out there. I don't like throwing out rumors just without any validation. There's some big numbers being talked about, and I will be crazy excited if something happens. You have Eric Anderson, doesn't have a partner. Interesting. Eric and Ryan Smith have partnered up together in quite a few of the pro shootouts. They've done pretty well. It makes sense to me if those two decide to maybe partner up next year. But again, I don't know anything. Nothing's been announced yet. Nothing's been official. You have Frank Modlin.
Dude, Frank K.
So obviously Frank Modlin made the finals in doubles with Tyler Poitras. Tyler Poitras decides to step away.
What a beautiful moment, by the way.
Oh, dude, it was great. I mean, the only thing would have been better if they took it.
If they took it
listen,
all. But
Frank Modlin is one of those it's crazy consistent. And to me, what was most impressive is Frank saved his best cornhole for the end of the year, which typically that's like a younger man's type of game. You know what I mean? So, but Frank is obviously one of still the top 20 players in cornhole. I'm going to be very interested. I'm going to be interested to see if he goes with somebody younger. Like a young gun, kind of up and coming type player that he can kind of mentor and mold. Because we know Frank is not a party guy. So to me, I think that's important. Like I don't think he necessarily wants to partner up with somebody. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if he partnered up with somebody like family value wise made sense for him. But we'll see.
No, I agree. I totally agree.
You have Ryan Windsor. Is Ryan Windsor going to play with the Cedro again? I don't know. It hasn't been announced yet. I think that's kind of odd. If they were going to partner up again, it would have made sense just to do so right away, unless they're trying to work out some big deal or something. Yeah. I don't know, but I haven't heard anything, so if nothing's solidified, I'm going to just go ahead and assume that he's going to be he's a free agent right now and is looking for pairings. And then the other one is a rookie player, Berkeley Pear. I don't know what's going to go on with Berkeley. I don't know if he's going to go with Fire Cornhole and they're going to try to bring somebody else in to Fire to throw with them. I don't know what's going on with that. The nice thing about Berkeley is he can throw a little bit of everything. He can throw anything from Pro Advantage. I've seen him roll a Game Changer. It doesn't really matter what he throws. He's just really, really good.
Yes, that he is. And I can't find that post anywhere, so we're just gonna stop looking.
Sorry. Somebody let us know. All right, and then the other thing I want to talk about, we kind of mentioned it so far. Smaller bag companies signing players. Mm-hmm. All right, we already mentioned Zero Gravity Cornhole, Humans at Cobb. A big announcement was made last night. Is Kyle Malone and his new partner Cody Johnson. So Kyle Malone and Dalton McClellan are not running it back anymore. They signed with Tampa Bay Cornhole. They are going away from kill shots.
That's surprising.
That is that's big, man.
Honestly, I always felt like him and Austin were boys. I mean,
listen, you still can be boys.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a business.
Like,
you got to be able to separate. And listen, if anything, Kyle Malone did his job for kill shots.
Yeah,
he put them on the map. You know what I mean? He strapped them on their back when they were brand new. Brought them to. So, but yeah, congratulations to Kyle and Cody. I'm assuming the the dollar amount must have been pretty stellar to pull them away.
Yeah,
from
for him to move away. But the one that you have last on here is probably the most intriguing to me.
Dylan Turpin and Ricky G.
Yeah.
Signing with WTF Cornhole is a sneaky good signing, in my opinion.
That bag is, depending on which one they throw. I mean, honestly, we've seen all good ones.
Yeah.
Are you thirsty?
Yes, I am. Okay. WTF Cornhole, we've talked about them before. We've reviewed 3 or 4 sets of their bags. They're all really good. I'm glad to see them breaking out in the pro ranks. And Dylan Turpin and Ricky, we've talked about going in, and they were kind of like that hot team ending the year. If they can keep that momentum going into next year, that's going to be a sneaky good signing, and they're going to get some good exposure out there.
Hell yeah. I mean, that's why I just wanted to mention it. And then, like, you know, obviously Contraband, we already said, Wooten, Smith, DK, Harbaugh. Yep. But, dude, I mean, I'll be interested to see the last couple big names get signed and see who they sign with.
Absolutely.
So I think we're going to see a little bit of shake-up here.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump ahead to the bag review. And the bag review is brought to you by Bagsboard, the maker of the original Cornhole bag backpack, now offering you a build-your-own feature that has over 10,000 combinations to choose from. Need patches to go on that sweet-ass bag? Bagsboard has some of the best around. Visit bagsboard.com and grab yours today. All right.
Can I open a beer?
Go, do it.
You know, we'll say this one's sponsored by Bagsboards too.
Oh, how about that?
Hey, we got mango and stash right now. Mango IPA. Let it rip.
All right. Which one do you want? You know what? Can I start off
6.0%.
with? Can I start off with this guy?
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna start with the Basement Bag Company. It's called the Darkness. This is obviously it's a very small company.
Yeah.
The first thing that stuck out to me when I got these bags was the template. It's almost like that.
Beautiful.
It's kind of like that new template from Vortex Zone. It's a very rounded template. Listen, for a small operation, dude makes a nice bag.
Dude, hell yeah.
Now the materials aren't anything crazy. It's familiar materials again, which sometimes I like because we know how it's gonna play.
But it's smart. It's a smart pairing.
Yeah, you have like a linen type material on one side, and you have like that slide right type material on the other. Now, so slide right, we know it's like 7 out of 10. Yeah. Linen, it just depends on the bore conditions. It can play anywhere from like a 3 to a 9.
And we did mention this when we were throwing it that when we saw the speeds change right before our eyes.
Yeah.
And we were just like, this is why linen, like indoors, if you learn to throw it, it's great, especially if you're throwing it consistently in the same spot. But if you start going around other places where the humidity changes and stuff, dude, it changes like the drop of a hat. That being said,
crazy hole forgiving,
dude. Yeah,
it's bigger. It's awesome. A little bit of it's a mixed blend of the fill.
Yeah.
Kind of a bigger feel in my hand, but it's not like the crunchy.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's
stuff.
not.
It's
the
smooth.
beads are very smooth. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a smooth feel. Because of like we were talking about it when the action it gets around the hole, it's almost like because of the template, the beads just naturally want to just go through any opening that's there. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They kind of just. As soon as any corner or any edge is on there, they all kind of just slip right in. It was very hole forgiving. We were impressed. I mean, I really had no idea what to expect. I think I actually reached out to this guy on Reddit. I started posting some stuff on Reddit. He reached out and said, hey, how do I get the bags on my show? We exchanged information. We kind of talked through it. And you never kind of know what you're going to get when someone's making bags like in their basement.
It's typically a pleasant surprise though, and this
one
definitely was.
Hats off. I mean, this is well done. I mean, they're well made. The seam is small, which I like.
Yeah.
And the template, I'm a big fan of. I'm becoming a big fan of like these very rounded templates. But all in all, I thought it was really nice. Design score.
Rip it.
Design score. It's a little bit tough to see with the colors, in my opinion, with some of the printing on it.
I think part of that has to do with like he sent us broken in bags.
Yeah. Again, skull, blood. It's just not really my cup of tea. I'm gonna give it like a 50 for the design score.
I'm gonna go 70.
Okay.
I appreciate it. It looks, and like I keep in mind that this guy is making these in his basement. I mean, we've seen some basement bags come through that don't even have like that level of print on it. These turned out sweet.
Performance score. Listen, I liked it. Is it going to be the first thing I'm going to grab every time? No, it's not going to be the first thing, but I think it's worth a shot. Like if you're looking for an affordable set of bags, so you want to just try out something different. I mean, I would recommend these.
Yeah, absolutely.
Performance score, I'm going to go 64.
Okay. I'm going to actually stick right near the design score, and I'm going to go 70.
Okay.
I can see this bag and that you show up at your league on, Wednesday night with all your boys and shit, and that bag just runs it. All right,
this would be a great blind draw bag.
Hell yeah, because it kind of suits a lot of different needs, and it's very hole forgiving. Obviously not having a stamp, that's everyone. Yeah, you got to watch out for that one. Ooh, it got you a little bit.
It did. I wasn't expecting that.
But yeah, all in all, I was a fan. So next up, we're gonna move on to Bangarang Cornhole.
Yep.
Some of the best hats around. Sean's rocking it right now.
I love their hats.
Is this their first attempt at it?
This is their first bag. Yep.
First bag called Bangalores or Bangalores. We're not sure what it is, but it's one of those two. Yeah, I took French. So it's kind of a
it's
carpet-ish bag.
Yeah.
With honestly, it plays pretty similar to Slide Right. It's not, but it plays somewhat similar to it.
Yeah. So we thought this was the closest to crossover, right?
Yeah.
We thought it was pretty close to a crossover type bag.
On each side, because this side, the fast side, if you will, it's definitely, it's like a 7. And honestly, the more you throw it, I bet you it's going to drop down to a 6.
Yeah.
And then the carpet side, again, it's plays like a 5 to start, moving down to 4.
Yeah.
Could end up at a 3.
I agree. Now, the stitching on the
back.
back.
Very unique on this back. So he's got this, this, if you guys can see it, looking at YouTube, that's actually stitched. That's not print. So he has the stitching in there of his logo that when you hold it in your hand, you feel the stitching, obviously. But for some reason, it didn't mess me up. I thought it would, kind of like the Game Changer patch does.
Yes.
But this actually almost helps the carpet come out of my hand a little cleaner.
Yes. And it was interesting. So
it doesn't affect the way it plays, though.
The guys from Bangarang were actually sitting. We were eating lunch the one day. They're at a table 2 over, so we went over and introduced ourselves. And I had been back and forth with them on Instagram a few times, talking about the bags. And they said that the stitching is not for any sort of performance at all.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's so that you can consistently grip the bag the same every single time.
It's almost
which I
like laces
love.
on a football. Is
Yeah,
how they put it.
exactly. Which is kind of a cool concept. There's nothing else out there.
Yeah.
Now, I like the way they describe it, because if they just said hey, it's going to slow it down, well, guess what? There's a patent out there right now that messes with it.
Bingo.
But we played with it enough that the stitching does not affect the speed at all.
No, it really doesn't. And honestly, the stitching feels rigid in your hand, so you're going to think that it might hold up or something in the hold. No, man, it does not change how slinky this bag is or anything. And
but you put it perfect. I thought the first few times it was going to mess me up feeling the stitching.
Absolutely.
Not at all.
Not at all.
And then the more I threw it, the more I'm like, okay, I feel
I
like
this
it felt consistent
outside.
every single time.
I like throwing it outside because, again, that carpet didn't seem to stick to my hand at all.
Yeah.
And I could really rip it out and get a nice flat bag with it.
They gave us a broken. It was their personal set.
Yeah.
The broken set. It was great. I love the colors on it.
Yeah.
The blue and the orange, it just worked really well. It pops.
I'm an orange fan, so this design score is going to be through the roof.
All right, so design score, what are you giving it?
Design score, I'm going 92.
What are you giving speed-wise? We didn't give a speed rating.
Speed-wise, I'm going to... Yeah, I kind of did. I said this starts off as a 7. It's going to work its way down to a 6. Carpet's like a 5 to start, but it's going to work its way down to a 4-3.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 92 on the design score. I think it's really cool. It's unique. I love the stitching on the other side.
I like their logo.
Yeah, the logo's sweet, and it's a different look for a bag that we haven't seen yet. They didn't try to go over the top.
To me, the design score, part of it goes into the stitching on the back, which is something unique. I'm gonna go 88. I do like it. I like it a lot. I like the design. Performance factor. For a carpet bag, I actually threw it pretty well. Again, I started getting the hang of gripping the bag the same every time.
Yeah. And
just it felt the same in my hand every single time, just because I knew where I was gripping on the stitch. I threw it pretty well. I'm going to give it 74. And again, for a carpet bag, for me...
No, that's pretty high
good.
up there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go 10 more than that. I'm going to go 84.
Oh, okay. You did throw that.
Yeah,
wow.
I really liked it. It was definitely the best one that I was throwing out of the new class. Or I guess new class of our reviews, if you will. But it's a very... Don't knock it for its uniqueness, because it actually does help you.
Now, it's not stamped. The first 2 bags we reviewed, they're
stamped.
not ACL stamped, so... do what the...
But that Bangalore, I would have no problem throwing that in a tournament anytime.
No.
It's a good bag.
All right, I'm gonna let you take the Gladiator Cornhole
Okay.
one. So this is the Mayhem Pro BB-1. This is like their first carpet bag.
First carpet bag, and honestly, they did it justice.
They did.
First thing to note with Gladiators, they changed their fill.
With this series.
With this series,
Yeah.
I mean, most of them they said that they were changing.
Okay.
It.
I don't remember. I remember we felt them real quick. I couldn't remember if they still had like that. What did they call the power pellets?
Yeah, power pellets. So
Okay.
they still use the power pellets,
Okay.
just not nearly as much now. So the bag doesn't feel like it's so flat in your hand. However, like this carpet bag, one they still have their beautiful diamond cut template, which is it's unique to them, and it's a nice template. It really is. It helps you grab bags that you didn't think you could grab without being a straight square corner, if you will.
Were you surprised at how hole forgiving it was right off the bat?
Right off the bat,
these
yes,
were brand
because
new
this,
bags.
this is brand new, and honestly, this thing's stiff.
Yeah.
Like, you know it's going to take some work in it. Now, we had the luxury of feeling a broken inset, and it felt... I mean, I was literally holding a Viking in my hand.
Yeah.
All right? That's synonymous to this bag, in my opinion. Now, the carpet, like I said, it's not exactly BG, but it's pretty damn close. It plays right around that 3-4 range.
Yeah.
And then the fast side, I mean, I think it's another like 7. It's like slide right-ish. I think
It's
I
a
can't
smart
remember
combination.
the name.
It's a smart combination to have.
Is this the Trident slow side?
Yes, I think so.
I think that's what it is. I can't
It's
quite.
been a while.
It's really hard to remember all of them, but I think that's what it is. But don't quote me on that. Again, like they just posted that this is now available. So if you're a carpet bag thrower and you're looking for all the BG stuff that's really expensive to find, give these a whirl, man. I think you'd be pleasantly surprised.
You were able to hit some crazy cut.
Dude, my cut was like 90 degrees with this bag.
It was ridiculous.
And
I mean,
I think a lot of that has to do with the template, actually.
Yeah.
With that emerald corner, for some reason, like when I was sewing the cut, I mean, I could get it to really cut.
It was ridiculous.
I think some of that has to do with it not being broken.
I do want to say one thing. So Gladiator Cornhole, great people. Like Brandon Navarro.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we can't say enough good things about him.
They make
He's
killer
always taking
products.
care of us. They do. And
People that knock the glove, don't knock it till you try it, because I'm actually a fan of the glove. I just don't use it enough.
I don't think their bags get enough love because they put out a solid... Now, like maybe... And I think they would even admit this. Their first crop of bags that they came out with, maybe were a little rushed. They wanted to get something out.
Well, that
but
was
like
also they were one of the first pioneers of
listen,
the cornhole bag.
They've listened to feedback.
Yeah.
And they keep getting better each time. That's all you want from a company.
Absolutely. And
just keep getting back.
This,
but
to me, this is
going
to be a bag that kind of puts Gladiator on the map for people. So let's go. I mean, I gave the speeds. What are you doing for design?
Design? I like the design.
I love their clean look.
We've said that before. I like their logo. I like how it's consistent. You know that anytime you go see a bag on a table, that's Gladiator Cornhole. I think as a brand, that's really important. I like it, man. I'm going to go 82. I like that.
So I was going to go 82, but since you said that, I'm going to go higher. I love orange, and when we were sitting there looking at all these, we're like, oh, grab whichever one you want, and like, I wasn't going to be that guy to be like, take the orange one. But we ended up with the set that I wanted.
I already knew.
And I do really, really like the design. So I'm going to go 85. Yeah. And it's clean, simple, it's easy to spot on a board. And all the color schemes they had were awesome.
Now, I actually threw this one better than I did the
Bangalore. Yeah.
So I graded this one at a 72. I'm going to go 76. Again, carpet bag. I want to see... I would love to break this in all the way and then come back and see if it would improve or if it come down. Because sometimes it's weird. Sometimes I actually throw carpet bags a little better when they're stiff. I don't know why.
I think it's easier for you to get a flatter bag when
correct.
you throw it.
I think that's what it is.
And I'm actually kind of the same way. I like a little bit stiffer of a bag. Once it gets like real melty, I start to miss the hole a lot. But honestly, for my performance, I'm going to stay right in that 80s range. And I'm gonna go 84.
Okay.
Again, I think that's the same that I gave for the Bangalore, but they played very well for me.
Yep.
I liked the way that you can attack with them, because each one you can hit the cut shot. You could do fun shit with it. And I mean, that's my style game. I like to muddy it up and have a little bit of fun.
Basement bags, Bangarang, Gladiator Cornhole. Thank you very much for trusting us to review your product. Go check them out. All three of them.
Go buy everything.
All right.
Shameless plugs.
All right, so he cued the rap horn. So reach us at Instagram and Twitter at Big Ass Cornhole.
And Facebook at Big Ass Cornhole Podcast. Thanks again to our sponsors. Visit airwolfathletics.com for all your cornhole swag. Be sure to use code BIGASP for 10% off, and iHeartCornhole.com for the best boards in the business. Code BIGASP10 will get you 10% off.
Bagsboard.com for the sexiest backpacks and patches in the game, and blackjackcornhole.com for the sexiest bags around. Code BIGASP can save you 10%.
10%.
I'm just letting out the secret now, because he hasn't promoted it himself. If you've seen the new Reynolds Typhoon bags, but you want a really sweet set, you can actually go on. You can actually go to blackjackcornhole.com. He just hasn't posted pictures yet because his bags aren't in hand yet, but they're going to be here any day. So go grab your set before he sells out. Anyways, okay. Apple Podcast reviews, drop those reviews. 5 stars are always appreciated. Be sure to check out harddragpush.com.
HDP.
Your one-stop shop for all your cornhole content. We greatly appreciate every visit. All the feedback and the comments on the articles have been great. So keep it coming. We're going to keep doing our best to put out great cornhole content for all of you guys.
Yeah, and I honestly, I think we're actually going to try to keep up with our fantasy football stuff that we have going on in there too. So, and he didn't announce it, but next week we will be doing. Is it next week?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a fantasy football draft with a bunch of the cornhole gang and having some fun with that. So if you guys don't know already, Sean and I are total degenerates when it comes to fantasy sports.
We are.
And we look forward to taking everyone's money. I mean, we need new sponsorship, so we figured.
Matthew Stout's messaging me right now saying that we're late. I know we're late. I'm trying to wrap
calm
it
down,
up.
Matt. We're going to get you on in a second, all right?
All right. Well, as always, we hope you throw it straight, and it's nothing but 4 baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later. Welcome back to the Big Ass Cornhole Podcast. We are joined by the new dynamic duo in the ACL, newly formed team, Matthew Stout and Jay Corley. What's going on, boys?
How's it going?
What's going on?
Nothing, man. I know, Matt, you were telling us earlier you got a jump start on some of us for drinking, so I'm proud of you, man.
Yeah, just trying to make you guys proud.
It's all right. I went out to dinner with the family and crushed a couple of Peronis. We were at an Italian restaurant, so it's the only beer they had on tap. Oh well.
Yeah.
Served me well.
Classing it up a little bit.
Yeah.
No big deal. So Matt, let's start with you. Just tell us a little bit about how the hell you got here. How did you start getting involved in cornhole? It's been kind of a crazy ride because you were through the college ranks and then now you're a pro player and kind of just getting up there and the finishes and all that stuff. So how did you first get involved in the game?
Well, basically, I'm just super competitive. I've probably been playing cornhole tournaments for over 10 years now.
Okay.
Since the better part, I don't know, just started in the backyard and didn't like losing, so I started practicing every time people beat me.
Okay. And is it did you play any other sports when you were younger?
Baseball and basketball.
Okay. Did you feel like cornhole was an easy transition for you, or did you find were you? I know you say you practiced a lot because you didn't like losing, but was it something that kind of came naturally to you? Were you pretty good right off the bat?
I think so.
You think so? It's okay. You can be cocky. Okay.
I definitely a lot of terms at the beginning, but I thought just for starting out as a little kid, I think I was pretty good.
Okay.
What position did you play in baseball?
First base in high school and in college.
Okay. So you were a hitter then. They didn't trust you in the field.
Basically.
It's right.
Listen, I pitched because they didn't trust me to hit. So there you go.
So let me ask you. So this year, what were your thoughts about this season? I mean, did you live up to the expectations you had going in? Because the year before you kind of made a pretty big splash and everything. I know early on this season you were you were real high up there in PPR and all the stats and everything. Did you finish as strong as you had hoped?
I'd say so. I was higher up in the PPR at the beginning of the year, basically just because the boards at the first 2 nationals were a lot faster than what I would consider the last 3 nationals.
Okay.
My game doesn't really, the way I play, I don't really live off of a lot of PPR. It just kind of happened that way, honestly.
Okay. How would you describe your game? Are you more of Do you like going bag for bag? Do you like playing like that muddy up game?
Yeah, I like to muddy it up for sure.
Okay. All right. And then, I mean, while we're talking about this season, you decided to change it up a little bit this year, but you played with Alan. Obviously, we all know he's going through some serious stuff, but just for people that don't know Alan personally, obviously you got to know him pretty well playing with him and everything. Can you just tell a little bit about
Right.
what the kind of guy he is and what it was like playing with him this past season?
Yeah, so this was me and Rocky's second pro season together, and he's a top-notch guy. I can't thank him enough. I mean, my very first year as pro, he'd already been pro a year or two at least, and he kind of took me under his wing, showed me the ways, and I can't think of anybody better to, kind of teach me. And I'm grateful for everything he did for me. I hate what's going on with him right now.
Yeah.
Will say had no idea about any of that when we discussed not playing together this year, which was a couple months back actually, but nobody knew that.
Yeah. And listen, I get that. I mean, it's a tough situation. There's nothing. It's one of those situations. There's nothing easy. There's nothing that you can really say that's going to make anything better right now. We talked about it in our part of the episode that all you can do right now, to me, there's power and positive thinking. You know what I mean? Just keep sending positive vibes to him right now, and that's all we can do. And I mean, hopefully, I think by now he understands that the whole community is kind of going to rally around him, and whatever he needs, we're here for him. So, but he's a good dude.
No, yeah, I agree. He's got a bunch of people behind him, and I think he's going to be all right.
So you went from a guy that might possibly be on, I don't know, the Mount Rushmore of cornhole, all the way down to Jay Corley. Like, how does that happen?
Hi, Jay.
Hey, Jay.
Hey, thanks, guys.
No problem. But seriously, you guys had mentioned, I think somewhere, like when you guys made the announcement that you guys were going to play together, you guys had kind of become like pretty good friends. Was that a big deciding factor on why to play together?
That's how it started out. We roomed together in Florida, and just seemed like we were on the same page all weekend.
Okay.
We did a lot together. That was kind of, I don't know if it happened by accident, but we were friends then, but we weren't as close as we are now.
Okay. And
then we roomed together in Vegas, and we got really close. Me, Matt, and Jordan are all pretty much best friends. And once I heard that Matt and Rocky were going to go separate ways, I was kind of like, well, what if, Matt? What do you think? And we kind of bounced it back and forth. And Rock Hill, that's when we kind of were like, all right, well, let's really take this thing serious. Okay. So it started out as a friendship first, which I think is really going to carry over into the season because that chemistry is already there. It's not something that we have to develop. The only thing we have to develop now is knowing each other's shot selections, or when the other person wants you to step in and look, or things like that. But I don't think that's going to be an issue. I trust Matt in every shot he takes, and I know he feels the same way. So
Jade, let me ask you, do you feel, don't take this wrong, do you feel like disrespected at all this year? Because you had a silent, crazy good year. And I don't think you got nearly as much respect as some of the other teams that finished right around you. I mean, you and John had a fantastic season. And if you would have asked somebody to list the top 10 teams, I think that probably 99 out of 100 people would have forgotten you guys on that list.
Yeah, no, I think you're probably right. And I like to give Trey a hard time about that sometimes, but he knows that with each event that happens, we just try to keep producing results and let them speak for themselves, and let that chip on your shoulder just grow a little bit more. I had a great year with John. We played really well together. We only played 5 tournaments together, and to finish 13th, I think is pretty impressive.
Real impressive, yeah.
It was a big year for me too. That's the most productive season I've had as a singles player, because previously playing with Tyler, I was 100% focused on being the best doubles player I could be, because at that time I felt like we were one of the best teams in the country. So that's all I focused on. So this season did give me the option or availability to focus on singles and kind of just let doubles flow. So, but I do appreciate it. I did hear y'all shouted me out a few times. So,
and it's not just in the pro season though. I mean, not just at the Nationals, but across the whole season, you had a really good season. I mean, you had won a few. Did you win conference with Berkeley or regionals?
Me and Leston won the blind draw at the conference. I finished, I think, top 5 twice in singles in conference and maxed out regional points. So overall, yeah, it was a really solid year. And just looking to build on that, especially now being able to have more chemistry with Matt locally. He's about an hour south of me, and we're already discussing weekly plans to get up together and practice, especially once we lock in a bag, really, figure out what bags we want to throw with, and just keep putting the work in, because, I did finish 13th in doubles with John, but that's not good enough. We have all the expectations to be a top 5 team in the world. I think we both know we have the ability to do so we just got to put it all together.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
so let's talk about the bag selection for 1 second. You guys, now correct me if I'm wrong, you guys had announced you guys are going with Reynolds, correct?
No.
You guys have not announced. Okay, I apologize. So
we
you
are
guys,
in negotiations.
I don't know why I thought. So you
Well,
guys.
I did post that Reynolds did give me a care package in yesterday, so I did
Okay,
get some bags
that's probably what I saw. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
But nothing official. We're in negotiations. I think we're talking to probably 5 companies right now, back and forth.
So
5 or
let
6.
the listeners, both of, and either one of you guys can answer this. So I think one of the things that's interesting for like non-pro players and people that I guess are privileged to talk to back makers and stuff. What are those conversations like? Like, what are you guys looking for to get out of? I mean, it has to be more than just. Obviously, money's important, right? Obviously, we know that, right? I mean, obviously, we're trying to grow the sport. Money's important, but you guys also have to like the product too. And does the person behind the bags matter to you guys as at all as well? Like, you want to feel like you're part of a family? Like, do you care, or is it all just like, hey, show me the money and we're gonna
I'm
make
gonna
it
stop
work?
you real quick though, because you don't actually have to really like the product to sign. Because I mean, Fire Cornhole designed a whole new bag halfway through the season that they all started throwing. So I mean, you could always sign with someone who's just got maybe a little deeper pockets, and then trust that they're gonna listen to your feedback.
I'm just interested. I mean, like you said, you guys are in negotiation with 5 companies. What do you guys take into consideration before deciding? I mean, it's nice that you guys have that many options.
Yeah, well, so we've kind of pitched it out that we're playing together. We're interested in hearing what they have to offer, because I think this year is the first year we're getting the shift where the players are not full on approaching the bag companies now with so many options. The companies, it's switching to where now the companies are starting to recruit players, and it kind of puts us in a gray area, because we don't know exactly what the market value is on us versus other players and how to scale that. We're kind of testing the waters and seeing kind of what sticks and what doesn't. Of course, we want to try to get top dollar with the bags that we feel the most comfortable with. So like you said, it wouldn't make any sense to go throw get twice as much from company A and finish near the bottom or middle of the pack, instead of taking a little bit less, maybe, and getting more exposure and building a brand and things like that. So but man, I'm not kidding. We talk every day. We're bouncing ideas off of each other. And it's really nice that we're transparent on all of this, and we're working together, and neither one of us is going to be in the dark as far as when we any sponsors we take on. We want to make sure that we're both involved, and we're both on board with all the decisions we make.
Well, one of the things that we've talked about even the first time you were on was and I would argue probably you and Drew Brown were a way ahead of the curve on the whole social media and getting your name out there as pros. Do you think that's lent a hand in some negotiations, and made yourself maybe more attractive than maybe somebody else that would have also placed 13th? But, you can also put out there, like, look at how many followers I have, and your brand is going to be out there. I mean, have you found that bag companies care about that aspect as well?
Yeah, I think so. Because I pitched the idea that ESPN, people that make ESPN, they can only be seen when ESPN puts them on the TV.
Yeah.
But if you go to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok, you can watch that video as many times as you want. So that exposure is endless. It'll be there forever. But I will say, towards the end of the year, once I started realizing, kind of like you said, not being cocky, but that I was really having a really good year and playing the best I've ever played, social media kind of took a back seat, and I really focused more just on playing. So we'll see what happens with that. I think now I'm just having fun with it. And that's about it. It's getting so serious for just the time it takes just to commit to playing at a high level. It's hard to balance.
There's no more buy rounds, man.
It's
like,
not.
Listen,
And
let's be serious. Like this year, right? It was a super stacked. I mean, there's tons of good rookies coming in. There were some games that you wouldn't be upset if you had certain teams in the first round. We'll put it that way. That's gone. I mean, there's none of that anymore. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's going to be so hard to try to predict who's going to win this stuff now. Whereas maybe the last 2 years has been a little easier. If you kind of look at draws, you can kind of have a pretty good idea of who might make a good run. But now, man, it's anybody that's in there. Literally anybody can kind of take and run with it. I mean,
Sean feels the need to keep saying that just so when we start having our predictions next year and they're shit, that we can fall back on something. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I just have one question for Matt though. So if you guys, when you guys sign with the bag company, are you gonna get like a big ass stamp? So every time you catch a fish and post it up, you can just like slap that little stamp right on the side of that bitch and like hold it up for Facebook.
Might have
That'd
to.
be badass. Yeah, that'd be next level.
Maybe if you guys start picking me,
Hey, listen,
we picked you. I don't know if you've listened, but we've picked you before.
I've been one of your biggest cheerleaders all year, propping you up and stuff. I mean, I haven't picked you to win, but I've predicted you to go very far. Matt, we talked about, so you went through, so you joined you were talking before about how you started playing, you're super competitive, and you felt like you hated losing and you wanted to get better. What were the steps and like, what was your practice routine like to get you to the next level? Are you a guy that likes to go out back by yourself and put 400 reps down? Are you somebody that wants to go to every blind draw possible and you feel like that's the best practice? What's your recipe to success?
I used to be the guy. I mean, I would get off the school bus and throw 500 or 1,000 bags every day. I mean, that went on for probably a year or two, and then now I might go to 1 or 2 blind draws a week, and that's about it. I mean, me and Jay are talking to each other right now. He's got a pretty nice indoor facility that he can get 1 day a week. I'll probably ride up to his spot and get some practice in, just me and him together. But as far as practice goes, I don't do much practicing anymore. I might try some new things out at blind draws and stuff, but that's about it.
What's your day job right now?
Electrician.
Okay. All right.
Nice. We gotta have you talk with Tony Rinaldi.
Seriously.
Runner of Cleveland Cornhole. But honestly, there's one thing I want you guys to do for me, and this is just me as a selfish person, but at the end of every practice session, play one game and keep a running tally of wins and losses. Let's revisit this next year and see how it goes.
Deal.
Oh, I'm down.
Hell yeah. I think that'd be good competition. I'd love
We
to.
should start. Me and Dane just started the other night. I'm 3-0. 3-0.
That doesn't count. I didn't know that shit was going on. He should have had me up on Saturday. It would have been a different story. It's because we got to sit here and throw different bags each round because we have too many to review.
All right. So just changing the topic just a little bit. Jay, you fancy yourself a fantasy football aficionado? This is correct, right?
I've played in a few leagues before.
All right. So us too. So our dad, we like to consider ourselves a little bit like OG, right?
We are OGs.
I've been running a league since I've been 12. I used to get up Monday mornings with my dad. We'd have the newspaper, old school before like Yahoo and all this stuff. Pencil, paper, adding all this stuff.
Calling
like that
everyone up, be like, hey, send me your lineup.
Yeah.
It's Friday night. All right, I need to know this.
So we are starting up a cornhole fantasy football league that we're going to be talking about on the show periodically. We're going to post some of the stuff on Hard Drag Push. It's like kind of a cornhole media content. Again, if you're listening to the show, visit harddragpush.com. We greatly appreciate it.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, of course. But it's going to be a fun league. So it's me and Dane, yourself. Who else do we have? We have Eric Anderson. We have Timmy Jonas. We have Ryan Smith. We have Troy Hauser, owner of Blackjack Cornhole, and his bestest buddy, Sean Duggar. Am I forgetting anyone? I feel
Jordan.
Yeah, isn't Jordan in it?
Jordan Power.
Yep. I was going to say, was that all 10?
We might be missing one.
We might be missing one. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. We're already everyone's kind of already talking a little bit of shit.
We got to get a Facebook group going.
So we're running
sure.
now. Have you ever done a 2-quarterback league before?
That Dynasty League I was telling you about offline previously, those are two QB Superflex tight end premium.
Ooh, all right, so would you guys get like a 1.5 for reception then?
It's regular PPR, but tight ends get 2 points per reception.
2 points per reception.
Yeah.
So does Kelsey go like third overall then?
Not that early, but he was high. He was definitely high.
Okay. I mean, okay, I guess with the Superflex, yeah, it kind of depends.
And Dynasty too. I mean, he's not old yet, but in Dynasty terms, he's not a young asset.
Well, was this your guys' first draft then, setting up the Dynasty?
Last year was, yeah.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I'm looking forward to it. We're doing our draft next Tuesday, right after like we record our episode. We're gonna open up a Zoom call. Anyone that wants to hop on, they can. We're going to kind of just have it up. We're not really sure what we're going to do with the content yet. If it's good enough, we might release it and put it up just for people to watch on YouTube.
Here, just so after every pick, I'm going to talk just a little bit of shit.
Yeah, I mean, but also too, everyone's going to be kind of locked into their computer and paying attention. So I don't know how much banter there's going to be back and forth. But I'm looking forward to something. First of all, thanks for being in the league. You're not. You said, I think you made a bold statement to me the other day that you were going to go undefeated.
Undefeated.
Okay.
What did I tell you when he said that?
I don't remember.
I think I said you have a better chance of tying out the season than going undefeated.
So I mean, I think we have to have some sort of like side wager or something here. I mean, outside, like when we go to head or something.
Yeah, I'll bet you $100 you don't go undefeated.
I won't pass on that bet.
Yeah. No, but we'll figure out the side wager. I'll let it be known on the show. But
yes.
But thanks for being part of the league. It should be a good time. I'm looking forward to next year. It's gonna be my first draft of the year, so I'll be gonna be interested to see how it goes, and hopefully everyone's ready because I mean 2 QB like super flex type leagues. That's kind of where I've made my money. So I'm excited. Yeah, listen.
He'll just be so angry when he takes last.
And listen, I know this is Cornhole podcast, but it's fantasy football season, so we're gonna take a break here for a second. Are you a bigger fan of like super flex type leagues rather than just standard leagues?
I love super flex and 2 QB leagues because it values all the positions for the most part equally, except for tight end, unless you make it tight end premium. It's a little bit less, but yeah, I like it.
Completely agree.
It'll be interesting if the other guys haven't played it to see the draft strategy.
Because if you play standard leagues, you can go do a mock draft right now, and as soon as you see your pick, you're pretty much going to be able to tell you who your team is for the most part. Yeah. The first 6 rounds, pretty much. Superflex or 2 QB leagues, any different draft strategy can work. You can go QB back-to-back picks and win a league.
You're talking about next week's episode. So,
love it.
Man, I got a question for you. Are you a huge football fan?
Yes.
Who's your team?
Oh, the Cowboys.
I wish I would have known that before we decided to be partners.
I would shrug too. It's all right.
Jay, who's your team?
I knew that was coming.
I claim the Colts. I was a Washington fan for a long time.
Okay.
But I got tired of Dan Snyder.
Fair enough.
And
do you want to go back to Washington now?
What's that?
Do you want to go back to Washington now?
No.
Maybe like
dude, I'm telling you, Washington will be pretty good this year.
They're going to be very good. I tend to follow
Yeah.
players more. I'm a huge Tom Brady fan. I'm a huge Justin Herbert fan.
Yeah, okay.
So I pay attention to them a lot too.
Okay. Listen, I'll have to admit, Justin Herbert surprised me a ton. Way
He's
better
legit.
than I thought. The fact that the position he got put in the first game of the year, and he wasn't expected to start for maybe till like mid-season, it's still crazy how good of a season he had. So I was impressed. So hopefully he doesn't have a sophomore slump, but we'll see.
Yeah, I hope not.
I got to ride him and Josh Allen into 2 championships last year, so it's all
Listen,
right.
first of all,
I didn't undersell him.
Fantasy aside, we're just excited here because we finally have a football team in Cleveland.
That's true. It's hard to watch. I'm so used to not watching the Browns and watching everyone else that it's a little hard now to keep up with everything.
No more JV bullshit here. We have a legit team.
I used to never even turn on a Browns game. I would just watch Red Zone the whole time because what's the point of watching the Browns when we're losing like 27-5? But
well, it's true.
I get to watch their 1 touchdown a game. And that was the highlight of like probably 15 years of my life.
All right.
Do y'all think Clowney and Myles Garrett are going to work?
I think so. If you know, I mean, obviously you know about football. Clowney's not a sack monster.
Yeah.
Clowney's extremely good against the run, and he sets up the other side for sacks. I think Myles Garrett, with it being a 17-game season, if he stays healthy and he doesn't get suspended for hitting guys with a helmet, I mean, you could see the sack record being broken this year.
I think Chase Young has a really good chance of doing that too.
I completely agree. I think
he's unbelievable.
Myles Garrett. I think Bosa. I think you have T.J. Watt. I think there's 4 or 5 guys that could easily break it this year. There's some crazy good
but
guys.
Honestly, when it comes down to that position, it's all about being healthy for all 17 games because every year it seems like they always miss like 2 or 3 games nowadays.
Yep.
So as long as they can stay healthy, and I think Clowney's actually going to help out Myles Garrett in that aspect greatly.
If you can't tell, like if we were going to do anything else with our life, I lost my job when I first got out of school. I was at an outpatient physical therapy place for a year, right? And I lost my job, and it was like literally right around this time, right? Fantasy football season. And I tried convincing my wife to let me quit my job and get away and just start a fantasy football website and a podcast, and she wouldn't let me do it. And I'm like,
it's a smart move.
Yeah, it was looking back on it.
You see how horrible we handle the Cornhole podcast? Imagine if we had a fantasy football podcast. Jeez.
That's
absolutely.
Funny.
All right, so what I want to do now is we're going to jump over to some of the Facebook listener questions. So, Matt, you've been quiet.
Okay.
We're going to start with you first.
You're
right.
too quiet.
If you could,
It's like you're hiding something.
This is from Nicholas Howell. If you could play and or organize a huge tournament at any large venue in the U.S., where would you play and why? So he's talking like Madison Square Garden, LA Coliseum, etc. Where would you play it?
I think we all got to answer this one.
Oh man, anywhere. I don't know. I would have to say maybe the new Raiders Stadium, just because it's in Vegas also.
That's a good call. That's a good call. I like that. Okay. All right. Jay, what about you?
I guess I got to go Cameron Indoor.
Oh God.
With the crazies. With the crazies.
With the crazies.
Oh, gross.
God.
No. Oh my God. Can we stop his video?
Yeah. Just say, you guys
we can mute you, but that's just mean.
You guys had a good season this past year, right?
Yeah, you guys look real good this year.
We'll be okay. We'll be better than last year.
Yeah, well,
It's really easy. that's not hard.
Wait, are you guys Carolina fans?
Hell yeah, UNC all day.
You're in the same boat. Y'all stumped.
Oh yeah, we did.
Okay.
No, I know, but I mean,
we get to talk shit with you guys stuff. So.
We didn't have a choice. That was by blood. Like my dad is like diehard Tar Heel fan. Like for some reason, he's from Cleveland, Ohio.
Sean, where would you host your?
I would probably have to go either Horseshoe for Ohio State, just because it's just massive, or Notre Dame Stadium. I think that'd be crazy cool. It's got that old
Jesus.
Yeah, it's got that cool old school feel. Yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool. What about you?
So I'm gonna completely change it up and go to a venue that's just known for like a hella good time. Give me Red Rocks. Let's get that shit going. Have some live music, partying. I think that would be a hell of a time.
Okay. All right. So Jordan Campbell wants to know, which one do I want to start with here?
Yeah, he has
a few. Let's start with this one. He said, "Will you guys be signing with Cornhole Ace again this year? What bags do you guys are you guys planning on throwing this year?" Obviously, he's trying to get something out of you guys.
Yeah.
His other more serious question was, Jay, do you plan on limiting how much Matthew drinks throughout the season?
Oh, here we go. Go ahead, Jay.
No. Honestly, if I felt like that was going to be an issue when we roomed together in Florida or Vegas, I wouldn't even have asked him to be my partner. Yeah. But like I said, seriously, we were on the same page.
Yeah.
He's a grown man, and if he wants to drink while he plays, fine.
Matt, you strike me as like a man similar to myself that just hides it really well. Like you might be like totally tattooed, but no one would ever know because guess what? Those eyes aren't glassy. You're just able to keep the shit together.
Jay, do you drink it? Do you drink it all while you're playing? Like, do you have a beer or anything?
Yeah, I drink. I stay away from mixed drinks while I'm playing. I try to drink beer.
That's a smart man.
Once I get out, then we can get into mixed drinks. But yeah, I drink.
Once it's done, once it's eliminated, then the mixed drinks come. All right? So both of you, mixed drink of choice. What are you going with? You're at a bar. It's not a beer. What are you ordering?
Oh,
I know.
Definitely Crown and Coke.
Crown and Coke. What are you going with, Jay?
Matt just gets crowned and he like gets them to just sprinkle like just the smallest amount of coke in. That's about it. He's a tank. I don't know. I've been going with Tito's here, really, and anything I can mix it with. I got away from the Fireball. I mean, I'll still take shots of it, but I don't do the Fireball.
No more keto special.
No, see, that's overrated. It's not really keto. I found out. So
we knew that, but that's all right.
I didn't know that.
Let you catch on. Sean, should we answer our answer at the same time?
Go ahead. You can answer yours.
I'm gonna go Jameson and ginger.
Oh yeah, obviously.
100%.
Oh, I had a breakfast shot.
If they have Jameson, I'm going Jameson ginger. If not, it's anything whiskey and ginger.
Yeah, whiskey or whiskey.
Well, I'm sorry. Let me clarify.
Ice.
A double whiskey and ginger, or a double anything.
There you go.
So
more alcohol than ginger ale. Just a little splash.
Anytime I go to a wedding, my wife knows. Like if they have an open bar,
Yep.
and I come back to the table, and she's
You're
like,
driving, hon.
and she's like, looks at me. She's like, seriously? I'm like, oh, it's a wedding.
Yeah,
Like,
no, this one's not for you. These are
free.
both for me.
They want me. They want me to do this for them. Like I'm gonna be way more fun and social if you just let me do this. So.
The first time I ever had Jameson, I had breakfast shot. Have y'all had those?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Tastes like
they're so good.
Like
a
little
ridiculous.
pancake shot. Yeah, awesome. I got a question for both of you from one of our favorite people in cornhole, Mr. Josh Zeller, owner of Vortex
I like
Bags.
this question.
I loved it too, so I got to ask it. So he wants to know, which famous celebrity would you want to punch in the face? I know you got one. You got one off the cuff. Come on now, let it rip.
Matt, you go first.
Is Jay a celebrity yet?
I mean, in our eyes,
on
he
TikTok,
is.
yeah, probably.
No. Honestly, I don't know. I'm a big respect guy, so I don't like whatever the YouTuber that fought Mayweather. I ain't a big
Paul
fan of
brothers,
his.
Jake or
Jake
Definitely.
Yeah, I can't remember one of the two. You know, they're from like our area, right?
Apparently so.
Oh wow.
Oh, really?
They're from like 15 minutes away from here. Yeah, they're from Bay Village. Yeah, city right up there.
Oh, that explains
Yeah.
a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bay Village is very like
Everything handed to him on a silver
uppity.
platter,
Yeah, like we're like a little bit.
never had to
upscale.
work your
Like
day
we weren't like
in your life.
we wanted to go date the girls from there, but you know, like their parents would meet us and we're like, no, you're not allowed to
sorry,
like go out
like
them.
your parents
Like,
don't make seven
correct.
figures. Get
Yeah,
out of
correct.
here.
Absolutely. Jay,
Who you got, Jay?
I don't know. Probably some Carolina basketball player. I don't know, Danny Green. He disrespected our guy.
any of them just doesn't matter. Just line
Tyler
out.
Hansbrough. Come on now. He's got to be one of the top for you.
Well, I mean, he was like halfway nice. He was kind of like the guy that packed his lunch every day. And
Dude, listen,
Yeah.
you got to
He
respect a
looked
player
like a
like
Duke
Tyler.
player playing for UNC. Let's be honest.
You got to respect a player like Tyler Hansbrough, though, because he was just like a blue collar, just go in, do the dirty work. And North Carolina doesn't have a lot of those players.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
Like, they really don't.
Sean,
no,
who
he
you
was
got?
very good.
What do you mean? Punch in the
Yeah,
face?
what celebrity are you going to punch in the face?
Ooh. Who do I dislike a lot? Nicolas Cage. I hated all of his movies. I don't know why. Can't stand his movies.
Wow, that's a bold statement.
Yeah, I just don't like any of his movies. I don't know why.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was just. I feel like there's a real deep down hatred there. I'm gonna find a movie for Sean that's one of Nicolas Cage's that he doesn't know about that maybe will change his mind. Like what's the
National Treasure?
Kevorkian's
They're okay.
Mandolin?
Listen, I like the movies. He is terrible. Like I never understand like how he auditions. Everyone's like, "Wow, you're really good. Like you should get this part." You know what I mean? Like, and they could substitute anybody else in that movie and it would be good. Yeah, I just never understood it. So,
Yeah. And I'm gonna
It's
take
just my
for
opinion.
my answer. I'm gonna take a quote from Fight Club, and I want to destroy something beautiful. So give me John Stamos. He's a beautiful man, and it drives me nuts because goddamn, he's like almost 60, and the guy looks like he could pass for 30. It's that Greek blood. Just got to knock it out of him.
all right. So one more listener question I want to get to. Garrett Henderson asked, and again, this doesn't have to be just because you guys picked each other. What do you guys look for in a doubles partner? Like what makes two people like a good team besides throwing similar bags? Do you look for chemistry? Is it just the fact that, hey, we're both really good players? Because we've seen both this year, right? So if you take somebody like Jamie Graham and Matt Guy, are they hanging out on the weekends? Probably not, right? But they're both very solid players. They're looking at it as like a business partnership. Do you think it's more than that, or is that enough to make a good doubles team?
I personally think it's more than that. I think it's how you're going to approach the tournaments, how you're going to approach the entire weekend.
Okay.
Am I going to be getting in bed and getting rest, and you're going out and potentially staying out all night, and I come in feeling like you're not prepared?
Do you think does
things
that
like
happen
that.
a lot more than people realize?
I think so. And I think that was a big reason for me and Tyler, our success. Obviously, when we played together, he was one of the best players in the world. And I was fine being Robin and letting him be Batman. I knew what I needed to do on my end to keep us in games and win games. And I was actually talking to Matt before we got on this call. We were talking about the bag situation, and I told him the way he played this year, I have no problem with him finding the bag that he feels like he can groove with, and then I'll figure the rest out. You don't need to put sometimes two alphas together doesn't always work. Somebody has to realize, and maybe it's some tournaments where I'm the alpha and he's not. And, as long as you have that understanding with each other, and that even if you're on your end, you're not giving up points. That's just as good as scoring points sometimes if the other your opponent's hot. So I think all that's key, and I don't think that's going to be an issue with me and Matt.
Matt, what do you
Top
think?
that one, Matt.
I mean, that was pretty good.
Before
What he said.
And you're not
Way
allowed
to
to
get
say
so
ditto.
deep.
Right? Yeah.
Before I actually comment on that, I just wanted to say, with you wanting to hit Nicolas Cage,
Uh-oh.
crazy enough, I got your back, because last time I went to Vegas, I was somewhere I probably shouldn't have been.
Okay.
And I tried to buy him a beer, and he totally dissed me.
Dude, all right. So
it was pretty cool. I
actually
saw him, but
it was actually between two guys.
Budweiser.
It was between two guys. Nicolas Cage. I just never liked his movie. And the other one is kind of a surprise. Fred Couples, professional golfer.
Oh yeah, we've already gone over this.
Yeah,
on our
biggest
podcast.
asshole ever on the golf tour. But similar reason, he's just an asshole. That's why. But at first I thought you were going to say like he's like your distant cousin or something. I'm like, well, I feel like it did. I don't know what I just fucking said.
Yeah, he's not, but Fred Couples is.
All right, so what do you think about what makes a good doubles partnership? Like, what do you look for in doubles partner? And you don't have to look directly at Jay when you do this. This is weird.
I was waiting for like a little.
Yeah, Jay, close your eyes and turn around. Turn around, Jay. Close your eyes. No, basically, man, I'm lucky I'm good, because I just go play for fun. I mean, I just have fun. So I got to have a partner I can vibe with and have a good time with. And that's when I play my best. If somebody's down there who's just taking it so serious, and I'll never get into it.
Okay.
So having somebody like Jay who we can laugh, and he'll probably cuss me out every time I miss a shot because he told me not to take it, but we'll be good.
I love that you guys, you guys talked about just like the rapport that you both have. Everyone always talks about chemistry between partners, but I think you guys also have good physics, because I feel like Jay could carry you physically, Matt, and vice versa when it comes down to it. So like, I feel like there needs to be a discussion coming down to physics as well when it comes to these partners. Because like, imagine if like Jackie Sayasone would like partner up with like Eli Stevens. Not good physics. All right. I'm sorry. Eli would really struggle carrying Jackie. All right.
I mean, I guess I don't know this is what I have to deal with all the time. I'm sorry. Like this is when I just kind of like nod and smile. I'm like, I don't know where he's going with this.
Believe it or not, I spent a lot of time in left field, but I never played that position.
It's ridiculous.
All right, a lot of my stuff just comes from it.
Oh my goodness. Do you guys have any shout outs you guys want to do?
They don't have a bag coming yet. Who are they supposed to shout out?
Anybody they want. They get like listen, like
It's
girlfriend, wife, kids, grandparents. It might be maybe listen like Nicolas Cage. Maybe he'll listen to this episode.
Yeah, long lost cousin or something.
Yeah, I hope so.
No, of course, my wife. She holds it down while I'm gone, more than half the weekends out of the year. So if she doesn't do that, it's not possible. Also, want to let you guys know, I went to high school with one of your boys, Ed Davis. We played ball together.
Yeah.
I told him not to go to Carolina. I told him it wouldn't do him any good.
I like him a little bit more now.
What about you, Matt?
Well, since Jay had to do a shout out to his wife, I guess I'm inclined to do a shout out to my girlfriend. Thanks, Jay. And
this is a responsible thing to do.
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta sound good. Besides that, shout out to Watermelon and John Teller and Brian Marks, they're probably my biggest supporters in cornhole, even though they just like to talk shit to me every day.
And that's
the best support.
those are the best friends, man.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
that's what friends
Oh,
are
yeah.
for.
And they would be so pissed if I didn't say their names, so I'm good now.
Well,
There you go. You gotta
ba-
listen to the end.
Listen,
now.
they're basically going to be famous now. I mean, let's be
With
serious.
a name like Watermelon, how could you not be famous?
Yeah, I need to meet.
I want to meet him.
Shit. Wait, we talked about earlier in the episode, kind of just like the new teams that had been announced, and we both said like we expect big things out of you guys. We think it's a very smart partnership. Jay, coming off the season you had, Matt, you're kind of like this up and coming player that, again, sometimes I don't think you got enough respect for how good of a season you had overall. Jay, I mentioned it before, you definitely did not get enough respect on this quiet, amazing season you had. I think you put those two together, you guys are going to be I don't want to say like under the radar team, but like you guys aren't going to be. I think that first national, you guys are going to be a little overlooked. I mean, I think that like not by me, but I think by like maybe like Mr. Ryder or somebody might forget about you guys.
Shots fired.
I'm not saying that I predicted better than Trey, but I predicted better than Trey. I'm not saying it. I just said it, but it's fine.
And others.
But seriously, I think you guys are set up for a great season. I'm looking forward to it. I'm interested to see what bags you guys pick. You guys have both thrown kind of like a variety of stuff, so I'm interested to see what you guys pick. And I think the bag market's changed so much. I mean, think about it. I mean, Jay, you've been in the game for a while now. Like, did you think 3-4 years ago that the bag market would be what it is today?
I didn't think the bag market would be the catalyst that pushed the game to where it is now. And I really think that is because it's expanded so much that it gives these other companies, startup companies, some kind of leverage versus the powerhouses that have been around for a while.
Yeah.
Like Kill Shots, for example. Kill Shots was brand new. They put all their eggs in one basket, and Kyle and Dalton, and look where it got them. Yep. So you're seeing some more companies like Lucky. Lucky invested into the 4 studs they had, and Zero Gravity, I think, is already making some pretty significant moves, and they have never had a bag on the market before, at least in the ACL division. So I did see the vision, when I committed to this game a long time ago, but like I said, I didn't think when the game was where it was at, bags would be the driving factor to get us where we are now.
Is it both of your guys, like, we'll say like hashtag life goals, right? Is it both of your guys' goals to like do this full time?
Yes, 100% for me.
Okay. Matt?
I would have to agree.
Okay. I mean, listen, obviously you guys have good, like, successful careers outside of this, right? But like, if you're going to put this much time into it, you'd like to listen, we'll let the cat out of the bag. I told my wife this year, if we don't make X amount of money this year doing this podcast, I'm done. Like, I put way too much money into doing this, and it's just not worth it. Like, taking time away from my family to keep doing this stuff and traveling and all this stuff. And we've had a blast doing it. But like, at some point you need to reap the benefits. And I think the same thing goes for you guys. I mean, you guys travel across the country and you're putting thousands of dollars into travel. And yeah, you guys are fortunate to have sponsorships, but I'm going to be very interested to see how much the sponsorships grow this year. Cause I think this is going to be kind of a catalyst year for just how fast this game is going to grow over the next like 3 to 5 years. I think with just some of the numbers I've been hearing with what the bag companies are offering, I mean, I think we're only 3-5 years away from a significant amount of people playing cornhole for a living.
Well, yeah,
I think it's a realistic possibility now.
I think it's safe to say that the days of a cornhole sponsorship means like a free weekend away somewhere. Those days are gone.
Yeah.
Now the pros need to start getting paid and making it worth their time to actually put the effort forward. And if
it's
not, you're going to see kind of a slip up. I feel like you're going to see the guys that aren't getting paid to do it kind of fall to the wayside because they're going to have a different mindset than everyone else.
Yeah, I think
I agree.
It's more now where sponsorships are including, like you said, cover your expenses and show money.
Yeah.
It's not just the guys that are finishing first and second that are valuable to these bag companies. I think the ACL knocked it out of the park when they added those extra live broadcast ports. So you have more players getting exposure.
Yeah. That was so
like
cool.
You said,
like, it really was. That was awesome, man. Like,
yeah,
we were fortunate enough to be on one of them. I know, Jay, I don't think we got to call any of your games, but Matt, I know we got to call at least 1 or 2 of your games. But it was cool. I mean, it was such a cool experience. I know. Well, I wasn't throwing the bags, man. Like,
Yeah, I mean, we just talk about it. All right? We just get to judge your bag.
no, but I think you're right. I think with the increased exposure, that's their goal for every national going forward. So we're hoping that we'll get the opportunity to go do some of that stuff again because it's a lot of fun. I mean, getting to see you guys throw bags in person and like actually getting to meet people in person that we like do all these crazy interviews with is a cool experience. So
yeah, and that's our expectation. I mean, we did have a serious conversation. We don't have many serious conversations, me and Matt. But one of them was like, what was our plan? We're going to do this for a year and see where it goes, or do we both say we're going to stay in it and see what happens over 2 to 3, maybe 4 years, and then reevaluate? Because we both know what we're capable of, and our expectation is next year at this time, we're negotiating, like you said, those life-changing offers at that point where we're playing full time and we're traveling the country more and not working during the week. So the $1 million prize pool definitely helps. The shootouts help with the exposure. So like you said, I can't imagine what this season holds.
and I believe it's $1 million prize pool for pros only, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Like that's I don't know what people understand. Like that's just the pro prize pool. I mean, it's bigger in general, but just the pro prize pool is $1 million, which is cool. I mean, it's a good number to see. Obviously, it's going to get bigger, but the bread and butter is going to be outside sponsorship, like it is for most athletes. So,
yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, we'll let you guys hang on for a second. We're gonna let everybody else go. But thank you for joining us. It's been a long time coming, Matt. I mean, we've been trying to get you on for a while. Jay, thanks for hopping on with them. I thought it was a cool idea to have both of you guys on at the same time, and we wish you guys the best of luck this upcoming season. I mean, I know it's a long off season, but we're looking forward to seeing what you guys go
Enjoy your
next
3
year.
weeks.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks.